Hey everyone, and welcome back. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us today because we are tackling a massive modern headache. In this explainer, we're diving deep into the sales pitch and an independent review of a brand new tool called PixelCraft Prompt. We're going to take the vendor's glossy feature claims, line them up right alongside the pragmatic, grounded reality, and see exactly what this tool actually is.
But to really understand the solution here, we've got to talk about the problem first. And let's just be honest, right? We have all been there. Why do our AI image prompts keep failing? You have this brilliant, crystal clear vision in your head. You type it into something like Midjourney or DALL, you wait with all this anticipation, and what comes back is usually just a total disaster. It's a universal frustration, and the creators behind PixelCraft Prompt absolutely know it. The sales page for PixelCraft literally does not hold back. They list out these highly specific, deeply painful realities of raw AI prompting. You know exactly the ones I'm talking about, the things that make us want to throw our keyboards out the window. Deformed hands with 7 fingers, faces melting like they're in a wax museum during a heat wave, compositions that completely defy gravity and logic. The vendor correctly points out that most people burn through 20 generations, get completely sick of the trial and error, and just throw in the towel after their 5th failed attempt.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today's analysis. We'll hit the AI prompting problem, how PixelCraft actually works, peek inside the pricing funnel, weigh the strengths and red flags, and then give you the final verdict. First up, the AI prompting problem and bridging that input gap. The independent review we're referencing makes a really fascinating point here. The AI models aren't actually bad. The problem is happening right at the input stage. Vague inputs are always going to create bland, average outputs. Getting consistently striking results requires something called prompt engineering. Now, this is a completely learnable but incredibly time-consuming skill where you stack things like lighting direction, lens type, and mood descriptors to get highly specific results instead of generic ones. But here's the catch, right? Creating those high-quality images requires a specific vocabulary that most business owners, marketers, and creators just do not have the time or, frankly, the interest to learn. They just want the output, not a brand new hobby. Moving right along to Section 2, how PixelCraft actually works. Let's look at the proposed solution. PixelCraft Prompt steps in as the vendor's solution to just completely bypass this incredibly frustrating learning curve. Instead of staring at a blinking cursor in a blank text box, they detail a really simple 3-step system designed to automate all that heavy lifting behind the scenes. Step 1, you describe your idea. Step 2, you choose from 12 curated visual option categories, so things like art style, lighting, camera lens. And Step 3, you just hit one button to copy the assembled, professionally structured prompt and paste it into literally any AI generator. The tool is essentially acting as a translator, turning your slider choices into the complex language the AI actually understands. And wow, just look at the visual promise of this tool. Notice the incredible, epic detail in this cinematic monster image. The vendor claims that prompts for images exactly like this one, complete with that dramatic lighting and massive sense of scale, were built in under a minute without any manual prompt engineering whatsoever. And it's super versatile too. Just by changing a few of those category selections we talked about, you can jump from a really vibrant anime illustration straight into a hyper-detailed pencil sketch of a lion. PixelCraft claims to have over 20 different art styles built right in. It shows that the underlying prompt structure can be adapted for drastically different visual needs without ever leaving their dashboard. Now, for business owners, this versatility is a massive game changer for your budget. Take this pristine, professional-looking shot of a perfume bottle, for example. It perfectly highlights how PixelCraft appeals directly to e-commerce sellers. It promises that you can nail perfect product photography, the right lighting, the right composition, without ever having to shell out cash for an expensive professional photographer. All right, Section 3, inside the pricing funnel. Let's demystify what this actually costs. Shifting gears into our consumer advocate role for a minute, let's look at the price tag. The front-end price for the core prompt builder is just $17. It is a highly attractive one-time entry price that genuinely removes the biggest objection for anyone out there who is just totally suffering from AI subscription fatigue. But hold on, I need to remind you that clicking that Add to Cart button is really just the very first step. As the independent review rightly points out, this product is launched on Warrior Plus, which is a marketplace pretty well known for hosting multi-tiered upsell sequences. You aren't just buying a standalone tool, you are entering a sales funnel. Let's completely demystify this entire funnel so you know exactly what to expect. That front-end prompt builder is the safe $17 one-time buy we just talked about. But right after you buy that, you're going to see OTO1. That stands for One-Time Offer 1. That's the pro version for $27, which is likely going to unlock more features or commercial rights. And then finally, there's OTO2, the Image Generator Monthly Membership, sitting at $19 a month. It is absolutely crucial to understand the difference between those low-risk one-time buys and a recurring membership commitment, because that's a totally different financial ballgame. Moving to Section 4, Strengths and Red Flags, the Pragmatic Review. So the real key here is weighing the true value against all that marketing hype. The independent reviewer lays out a very fair, balanced comparison. The strengths are definitely genuine. That low one-time front-end cost is fantastic. The category-based builder legitimately addresses a very real skill gap, and the fact that it works universally alongside whatever generator you're already using is huge. But those red flags definitely need your attention. It has a very thin early track record. Any promises of unlimited prompts for $17 always mean you should check the fine print, and that recurring billing tier requires a very deliberate choice. So make sure you don't just default to yes.
And to give you some hard context on that thin track record, the review actually pulled the launch stats. At the time of the review, there were just over 5 visible sales, a 3% refund rate, a 0% upsell take rate, and an EPC, or earnings per click, of 54 cents. Now, what do these numbers actually mean? They show this is a very, very early stage offer. It hasn't been crowd tested by thousands of users yet. That means the buyer, which is you, has to do a bit of your own due diligence and rigorously test the tool yourself while you're still inside the vendor's 30-day refund window. Section 5, the final verdict. Who should actually be buying this? Let's bottom line this whole thing so you can figure out if this tool actually belongs in your workflow. The review breaks it down perfectly. You should absolutely buy this if you are a marketer, an e-commerce seller needing product imagery, or a content creator who is just plain exhausted from fighting with prompt phrasing every single day. The time you save is going to easily pay back that $17. But on the flip side, you should skip it if you are a professional designer who already has a highly refined workflow, or if you're just a super casual user who only generates an image maybe once every few months. The independent reviewer really anchors this perfectly with this quote. They state, at $17 for the front end, the financial risk is small enough that try it and judge for yourself within the refund window is a completely reasonable approach. I love that. It's grounded, it's risk-averse, and it cuts right through all that marketing hype to the practical reality of what's being offered. Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder today. When you really stop and consider all those hours wasted staring at melted AI faces and seven-fingered hands, is bypassing the frustration of trial and error prompting worth the price of a cheap lunch to you? If it is, this might honestly be the most efficient $17 you spend on your workflow all year. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer-focused learner.